Greetings, everyone. Welcome to part 2 of my in-depth look at the Transformers Matrix of Leadership 25th Anniversary Complete Series Collection from Shout Factory. Wow, that's really a mouthful. This time around, we're going to take a closer look at the actual contents of the set, like the disc-based contents, what kind of extras are on there, how they compare with the individual season sets, and the 15-disc complete series set that was released. This one is 16 discs, so you get an extra disc's worth of content on there. And, yeah, so let's get right to it today on the Multimedia Chronicles. Welcome back. Alrighty, so let's crack it open again. I just love opening this thing. It's so freaking cool. There you go. Look at that. You can get a sort of farther back shot. So let's... Whoop, there it goes. That was the book. Just hit the floor. Yeah, I just like to treat my collector's items with respect, you know? So, alright, so let's just put these all up here, like so. And like that. There you go. You can sort of see everything. It's really printed really dark. Sometimes you can see it better on camera, sometimes you can see it better in person, so I don't know. In the first part in particular, I tried to get everything to show up nicely on camera. So let's take a look at the booklet here. First off, this is a very, very nice booklet. 56 pages of goodness. And we took a bit of a look at it last time. It's got episode summaries and character bios and trivia tidbits and all kinds of cool stuff, and it's all very, very nice. This is a very high quality book. It's all glossy pages, very nice design in there, really well put together. It'd be nice if more sets got books like this. But let's take a look at the individual contents here. So as you can see, it's divided up into 4 sets. Each set has 4 discs, so it's all nice and even. So the first set here covers Season 1 and the first part of Season 2. Now, as for extras, we have Triple Changer, From Toy to Comic to Screen, The Origins of the Transformers. It's quite a meaty documentary about the creation of the franchise in general, not just the show, but the franchise as a whole. And it's really, really full of interesting stuff. A lot of interviews with a lot of people who were key in the creation of the Transformers. A lot of people don't realize just how instrumental Marvel Comics actually was in creating the names for the characters and the bios for the characters, and how involved they were with Hasbro to put the whole thing together, and the whole idea of the Autobots being cars, and Decepticons being planes, and stuff like that. It wasn't quite as clearly divided in the original Takara toys back in the day, and when it was Americanized and turned into the Transformers here, they made a lot of changes and just kind of gave it a little bit more logic to it, you know, sort of like, well, we'll make the bad guys planes and the good guys cars, and then kind of go from there. And so anyway, it's all about that, and how the comics and toys and cartoon were all kind of interrelated, and how they differed and things like that. It's really, really good documentary. In addition to that, you've got archival Hasbro toy commercials, so a lot of the original toy commercials from back in the day. Now, the thing about toy commercials is toy commercials generally are considered disposable, because once that wave of toys is done, they move on to the next wave, so there's no need to keep the commercials around. Maybe more so now with the advent of home video and DVD and Blu-ray and stuff like that. But back in the 80s and 70s and 60s and 50s, there was really no desire or need to keep these old commercials around. I mean, where would they use them for anything, right? So the sad part of that is Transformers, the original master tapes of the Transformers toy commercials are long gone. However, lucky there's fans like me and lots of other people who had VCRs back then and were not only recording the show, but also going out of their way to record the toy commercials. So yes, yours truly contributed a whole bunch of toy commercials to the set. Not the ones on this set here. Ones on, it's actually, they're all the ones I contributed are actually on the last disc, disc 16. Or if you've got the other complete series sets, it would be disc 15. or the last disc of the season 3 and 4 set. All 4 of the toy commercials on there are from my tapes. And not to toot my own horn too much, but mine are the best quality out of all of them. The reason being, even back in the 80s, I had the foresight to record everything in SP, which was the 2-hour speed. Everyone else was using 6-hour speed because, you can fit 6 hours worth of stuff on a tape. Yeah, you can fit 6 hours worth of stuff, but it's going to be garbage quality. So all this stuff I recorded back in the 80s is actually still really nice quality. And being something of a video guru, I was able to time-base correct the video before sending the master files off to Shout Factory for use on the DVD set. And yeah, I was happy to contribute to it. I mean, especially being a Transformers fan for so long, it was really a big deal for me to be able to have some kind of direct involvement. So it was just a frickin' honor and a half to even be getting asked to help in some way and to do something for the set. I mean, even if it was just pointing Brian Ward towards fan resources that could help him out with the remastering and stuff like that. We'll talk about that a bit more in the next part. But when it came to my attention that they were also looking for toy commercials and any kind of archival stuff that fans had, I knew that I had a wealth of material on my old VHS tapes. And I basically just went through them, copied everything over to the computer using my camcorder as a time-based corrector to stabilize the signal. And because they were in SP to begin with, the quality was very nice. So I was able to send along some very nice quality masters for them and have them included in the set. So yeah, pretty cool stuff. So anyway, in addition to that, you got some rare PSAs. You know how G.I. Joe always had their little PSAs at the end of the episodes, like, "Now I know, and knowing is half the battle." Well, they did the exact same thing for Transformers. At least they were going to. They did like 3 or 4 of them, and then decided not to bother. So a lot of people have never seen those before. Well, Shout Factory managed to get their hands on them. I don't know how. I don't know if it was from a fan or from some lost Hasbro archive, but they got them and put them on these sets. So that was pretty cool that they were able to get their hands on those. And then you've also got a printable script for Transport to Oblivion, which was episode 4 of the series. It was the one that immediately followed the original 3-episode miniseries, so that's pretty cool. In terms of episodes, we got More Than Meets the Eye, parts 1, 2, and 3, Transport to Oblivion, Roll for It, Divide and Conquer, Fire in the Sky, and SOS Dinobots on Disc 1. And then Disc 2, we got Fire on the Mountain, War of the Dinobots, The Ultimate Doom, parts 1, 2, and 3, Countdown to Extinction, which is kind of an epilogue to The Ultimate Doom, A Plague of Insecticons, and Heavy Metal War, and that wraps up Season 1. So Season 1 was 16 episodes. And then Disc 4, we've got Autobot Spike, The Immobilizer, Dinobot Island Parts 1 and 2, Traitor, Enter the Nightbird, and Changing Gears. Now, for me personally, I always felt like Season 1, SOS Dinobots and War of the Dinobots should go together, especially since in War of the Dinobots, the Decepticons are lamenting about how the Dinobots just kick their asses. And they're clearly referring to events from the previous Dinobots episode, so why did we stick Fire on the Mountain in the middle there? Also, I remember when the show originally aired, and SOS Dinobots actually aired before Fire in the Sky, at least in my area. I mean, it was a syndicated show, so air dates aren't always set in stone with syndication. But I know that in my area, SOS Dinobots aired first. I think it was followed by Fire in the Sky. So, I don't know, whatever. It's all over the map. But I've always liked to put the 2 Dinobot episodes together, and then the 2 Skyfire episodes together. So I like to have SOS Dinobots, War of the Dinobots, and then have Fire in the Sky followed by Fire on the Mountain. Now, when this set was being put together, I actually really pushed hard to have the episode order put that way. And I argued tooth and nail with Brian Ward, with other fans. It just the message boards were ablaze. And sadly, it was a battle I lost. Not enough people agreed with me to make it the way things are, but whatever. So, but now for someone who likes the continuity that particular way, it's kind of annoying because now I have to swap discs if I want to watch them that way. Oh well, whatever. It's minor bone of contention, but I don't know how the like accepted fan order got that way. It just doesn't make sense to me for many reasons. But anyway, maybe we'll talk about that another time. Maybe. Not necessarily yes, just maybe. Okay, don't bug me about it. Alright, so then carrying on with set 2, this is all episodes. Disc 5, we have A Prime Problem, Atlantis Arise, Attack of the Autobots, Microbots, The Master Builders, The Insecticon Syndrome, and Day of the Machines. Disc 6, we have Megatron's Master Plan, Parts 1 and 2, Auto Berserk, City of Steel, Desertion of the Dinobots, Parts 1 and 2, Blaster Blues. And then Disc 7, we've got a Decepticon Raider in King Arthur's Court, The God Gambit, The Core, Make Tracks, The Autobot Run, The Golden Lagoon, and Quest for Survival. Disc 8, we have The Secret of Omega Supreme. I always love that episode. Disc 8 is actually where we start to really get into, the bigger episodes of Season 2, the ones that sort of started to dive into the lore of Cybertron and stuff and started to flesh that out a bit. And some of my favorite Season 2 episodes are on this disc. So we got The Secret of Omega Supreme, Child's Play, The Gambler, which both go together, by the way. They're sort of an unnamed two-parter. The Search for Alpha Trion, Autobop, Prime Target, and The Girl Who Loved Power Glide. Then, on set 3, on disc 9, we've got Triple Takeover, Sea Change, Hoist Goes Hollywood, The Key to Vector Sigma, Parts 1 and 2, another really good one, Masquerade, and Trans-Europe Express. Then finally, disc 10, we have War Dawn, which is a fantastic episode giving the origin of Optimus Prime, Cosmic Rust, Kremzeek, which is the episode I hated passionately when I originally watched it as a kid. I just found the character of Kremzeek incredibly annoying, and I just wanted them to destroy it as quickly as possible. Then we got Starscream's Brigade and The Revenge of Bruticus, which is a great pair of episodes as well. Aerial Assault and Bot, B-O-T. Then finally, we get to the bonus disc of additional stuff. Now here is where we start to get into some stuff that's only in the Matrix set and is not in the other sets. We have the Combiner, forming the Transformers animated series. That is available on all the sets. A look back at the development and production of the original Transformers animated series, including brand new interviews with the creative team and voice cast behind it all. Then we have the Headmasters, voicing the robots in disguise. That is a featurette that is exclusive to the Matrix set. 8 original voice actors tell their stories in an amazing, exclusive roundtable discussion. It is, if you're a fan of the show, it is absolutely priceless seeing this roundtable discussion and the voice actors. And they talk about the show, they reminisce about being a voice actor, they talk about working together, talk about some of the actors who are no longer with us, and they just have so many great stories. I mean, these are just such interesting, entertaining, energetic, dynamic guys. And you recognize a lot of them, and a lot of them are like long-time Hollywood actors and such, who I'm sure you'll recognize from a lot of different stuff. It's great stuff. Then here we got some more of those rare PSAs, archival Hasbro TV toy commercials. Then some more exclusive stuff that is not on any other version of the set except this one. We have the original series Writer's Bible. It's actually a printable PDF file. Printable dialogue scripts and printable scripts from Starscream's Brigade and The Revenge of Bruticus. So those are all exclusive to the Matrix set. And then finally we've got concept art, which is again available on all the various sets. Then finally, disc 12, we've got the 5 Faces of Darkness, parts 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. It's a 5-part season opener that is actually a full-blown sequel to the 1986 animated movie. The animated movie, of course, occurs between seasons 2 and 3. 5 Faces of Darkness effectively bridges the gap between the end of the movie and the start of season 3. And then all of the season 3 episodes take place after the events of the movies. They take place in the far-flung future of 2005 and 2006. Hey, 1986, that was the far-flung future, okay? So we got the 5 Faces of Darkness, then we got the Killing Jar, Chaos, Thief in the Night, and Fight or Flee. Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, I should tell you a little something about the way the episodes are listed here, because the way they're listed here isn't actually the way they are. Something annoying happened during the very late in the game in the production process. Now, Shout Factory was really good about involving the fans. I mean, the whole Transformers fan community was involved in the production of this series, or this set, in some way. Specifically fans who were really knowledgeable about the continuity of the show, about the history of the show, and also in terms of the remastering and restoration, what errors existed in the show at the time of original broadcast, and what errors existed in the work prints that Rhino used for their sets that were not supposed to be in the broadcast versions. So, because Shout Factory really did not want to duplicate those errors, so they involved the fans a lot to help keep everything clear. But we'll talk about that more in the next episode. One of the big things they wanted to do for this set, one of the big bones of contention about the Rhino set, was a lot of the Rhino episodes were in broadcast order and not necessarily in continuity order. Now, it's not that there's a huge tight continuity throughout the series, but there is a continuity that is obvious if you watch them in the correct order. So, Shout Factory very heavily involved the fans to put the episodes into continuity-based order rather than air date order. They consulted the fans on the Shout Factory message boards every step of the way. How does this episode list look? How does this episode look? Oh, these two episodes go together? Okay, we'll put them here. Where do they fit into the overall continuity? There's a lot of back and forth between the fans and Shout Factory to get the episode order right. They wanted to do right by the fans and make this a set that the fans would love. So, what happens? For reasons still unknown, 4 years later, Hasbro steps in at the 0 hour and says, Season 3, we want all the episodes in broadcast order. What? The discs were already mastered. The book was already printed. The package art was already printed with all the episodes listed in continuity order. So why did Hasbro decide at the 0 hour that, we don't want them in continuity, put them in broadcast order? Why? Why? There is no logical reason for this. It doesn't make sense. So basically they had to go back and reauthor all of the Season 3 discs to rearrange the episodes into the completely wrong broadcast order. But that said, yes, the discs on the Season 3 set are in the wrong order, or the episodes are in the wrong order, but the book lists them all in continuity order. So if you don't mind a bit of disc swapping, you can actually watch them in continuity-based order using the book as the guide, or even just using the back of the case as a guide. I think they since corrected the listings for the later releases, like the complete series set and I think the season sets, but the Matrix set has them listed everywhere in chronological order, like story-based order, but they're in broadcast order on the discs. So, anyway, reading them off in broadcast order, we've got Disc 13, Starscream's Ghost, Forever is a Long Time Coming, Surprise Party, Madman's Paradise, Carnage in C minor, Web World, Ghost of the Machine, and The Dweller in the Depths. Oh, sorry, I'm reading them in continuity order. I keep getting... You know what I mean. Anyway, Disc 14, Nightmare Planet, The Ultimate Weapon, The Big Broadcast of 2006, The Quintesson Journal, Only Human, Grimlock's New Brain, Money is Everything, and Call of the Primitives. And then finally, Disc 15, we've got The Burden Hardest to Bear, The Face of the Najika, Dark Awakening, The Return of Optimus Prime Part 1, The Return of Optimus Prime Part 2, and then The Rebirth, Parts 1, 2, and 3. Now, that is the correct continuity-based order that you want to watch all the episodes on. That is not the order they appear on the discs. So the last 4 discs of episodes are in completely mucked up order. But if you use the guide, then you can figure it out. Finally, disc 16, we've got the last batch of extras. We've got the Autobots, the Decepticons, and the fans. A look at the loyal fans of the Transformers franchise. So that's a pretty fun one. Then we have another exclusive featurette. We've got Into the Creation Matrix, a conversation with Bob Budiansky. Now, Bob Budiansky was the original writer for the Transformers comics. What I did not know until I saw this was that he was also heavily involved with Hasbro in terms of naming the characters, giving them American names, coming up with the tech specs on the back of the boxes for the toys. So all kinds of information about the characters, and he developed all of that. That was him. That was the guy who was writing the comics, working with Hasbro to develop all this stuff. So pretty crazy. Anyway, that goes into a lot of detail about how all that came about. It says an in-depth interview with the man most responsible for naming and creating characters for the Generation 1 Transformers, the longtime writer of the original comic book series. Then we have From the Files of Teletran 2. Now, these segments from the Files of Teletran 2 are basically little spotlight features on different aspects of the Transformers universe. Some of them feature, some of them spotlight specific characters, others spotlight, history of Cybertron type stuff. Some of them just talk about the Autobots in general, others talk about the Decepticons in general, things like that. There's about 8 or 9 of them, I think. Anyway, they were originally tagged onto the ends of Season 3 episodes just kind of as a little bonus, because I guess the episodes would often run a little bit shorter, so they would throw these From the Files of Teletran 2 things in at the end, just as a little bit of background information about the universe that it was set in and everything. I always really liked them. Some fans didn't like that they cut them out of the episodes and put them in a bonus section, but I actually like having them in a bonus section, because then you can just sit down and watch all of them back to back and have this little encapsulated, you know, history book of, like, video history of the Transformers, at least part of it. Then we have the rest of the rare PSAs, archival Hasbro toy commercials, all of which are from my videos. These are the ones I was talking about. Those are all mine right here. Printable dialogue scripts, concept art, and fan material. So the printable dialogue scripts and fan material are exclusive to this set. What the fan material is footage. I believe it's footage from Michael Bay's Transformers movie. Like a trailer set to audio from the 1986 Transformers movie, so whatever. I was actually asked to do a featurette for the set, and I did do a featurette. I was asked to make some 0-hour changes to the featurette, which I did, and everybody liked it. Shout Factory liked it, Hasbro liked it, but for whatever reason, again, reasons unknown, they rejected it, and it was not included on the set. So I was like this close to actually being on the set. How freaking cool would that have been? Well, if you want to see the video that I put together, check out one called Being a Lifelong Transformers Fan. Not being able to have it put on the set, obviously I could do whatever I wanted with it, so I did post it on YouTube. I will include a link in the description. Yeah, so what can I say? However, I will show you something kind of cool. I may not have gotten on the set in video form, but I did get on the set in a couple of other ways. Well, the aforementioned commercials, but also, check that out. My name in print! How cool is that? Yeah, I may not have got my video on there, but at least I got my name on there in some capacity, so I was pretty happy about that. Pretty cool, eh? Yeah. Oh, one thing I forgot to show you when I was showing you the packaging. I actually have the original backing. Check that out. Yeah. So to give you some idea of how this would look, let's just take all these off here. Just 1 second, and we'll close this. So to give you some idea of how it would look in the store, it actually looked like that. There you go. See? Pretty snazzy, huh? Huh? Yeah. Alright. Okay, well, that is it for part 2. We will see you guys in part 3, where we talk about the extensive restoration and remastering that Shout Factory did to really try to make this the most definitive set as possible. Did they succeed? Well, we'll talk about that over the course of the next 2 parts. Until then, thanks for watching, and sayonara.